If you're running a BX game the old-fashioned way, the party comes back to town with a problem that looks like success. Too much gold sitting on their character sheets. Because gold in town is boring. Gold in the dungeon is exciting. As the players never feel pressure to spend it, you get this weird OSR inflation where everybody's rich, nobody's motivated, and the town may as well be a vending machine. Insert coin, grab sword, insert coin, grab rope. It's not all that exciting. Carousing fixes that. And just so we're clear up front, this is a house procedure built for BX pacing. Fast rolls, clear outcome, and it pushes the next session forward. It's not in the VX rules that I keep at my desk. And there are other carousing rules out there. You may find others in blogs and other rule sets. If you find one you like, feel free to use it. This, though, I think works for BX. So let's tell you what it does. First off, it burns money on purpose. There's no training rule in BX, right? AD&D 1E had that, and it definitely burned more money than the players are probably bringing in, but there's no hard training rules in BX. So we want a way to burn that money. Carousing also kicks rumors into motion. It gives you a clean between adventures turn of the crank that makes the campaign world feel alive. It's a pressure valve and an engine at the same time. As a pressure valve, it drains coin so the party doesn't just hoard it like dragons. As an engine, it turns we rest and supply into new leads, new enemies, new favors, new trouble, and a town that reacts to them. And it solves a real table problem. All right. Issue. Semantics. Between adventures, players want something to do besides shopping and arguing about plate mail prices unless they're Joe the lawyer, in which case, shop to your heart's content. Carousing gives them a decision that matters. If a player wants to stay sober, pray, craft, research, whatever, that's fine. Carousing is just a fast lane for I spend gold and something happens. Convenient, right? So here's the BX carousing procedure, the whole thing. By the way, go to tenkarstavern.com. There will be this procedure shared on the blog for today because there's a lot here. This is kind of like a chart heavy episode. But you can run this procedure in 5 minutes for the entire party. First step, declare the stake, and that is how much are their PCs bowling. Each one makes their own decision. Okay, and there's a spending tier. And that tier is light spend, 50 gold pieces per level. Standard is 100 gold pieces per level. Hard or heavy is 200 gold pieces per level. And that money is gone. Finis. It's out of the economy. It's drinks, it's gambling, it's bribes, gifts, charity, paying for damages. It's the I bought the whole tavern around or 5. Whatever fits the character. Step 2. Choose the intent. This is where the player is going to get more input. Pick one intent. This determines what a good night actually produces. What are their choices? Well, rumors, so they get more and better leads. Contacts. Meet useful people. Heat dump. Now, we talked about heat in the past. Heat dump is trying to lay low, reduce tension, maybe paying some people not to look for you. And then, of course, the famous blow off steam that can result in wounds and volatility. But it's important that everyone gets base rumors from spending. Intent decides what you get on high rolls. And of course, we have the roll 2d6 plus charisma modifier. And if you don't use charisma modifiers, that's up to the DM. I would use them. But 2 to 5, trouble. 6 to 8, mixed. 9 to 11, good. 12 or better is great. And I'll tell you what those things mean. But again, I'll give you a little cheat sheet as a pinned comment, but you go to tenkarstavern.com. There'll be a post for this and something you can probably copy down and put on an index card. Step 4 is base rumors, and there are always base rumors. Depending on the spend, light gives you 1, standard gives you 2, hard gives you 3. You always get them. Even if you roll trouble, you get them. And then you look at the result band. And this is where the character's intent matters. Trouble, you get your base rumors, and then you roll on the trouble chart. If your intent was heat dump, you don't like the result on the trouble chart, you can re-roll it, but then you're stuck with your second choice. Well, no longer a choice, your second result. And if your intent was to blow off steam, well, you get trouble. You get to roll 2, and the DM decides which one is worse, and that's the one that you get. Mixed, 6 to 8. You get your base rumors, because remember, you always get those base rumors, depending on 1, 2, or 3, depending on your spend, but there's a minor complication. A brawl, want to ask questions, some property damage, a little embarrassment to your reputation, that kind of thing. Maybe you owe someone a favor, a fixer, smooth something over. Or you get a contact that wants something. That's useful, but now maybe that's the lead for your next adventure because they're cashing in a favor. See, mixed is you get what you came for, but you pay for it with what I've been calling a lot, right? Friction. That little keeps you from just moving smoothly. Good. 9 to 11. You get your base rumors, and now intent matters. If your intent was rumor, you get 1 extra rumor, or you get more details on one of those rumors. Okay, again, pretty much DM option on that one. Contacts, you get another contact. Heat dump, you reduce your heat 1 step. Blow off steam, well, you get a small boon. That could be a free room for a week. Your tab is forgiven. Free introduction to somebody of minor import. It's a grounded benefit. And you roll 12 or better? That's great, right? Well, you get your base rumors plus what your intent was. Was your intent to find more rumors? Either get 2 extra or 1 extra, and one of those rumors is a little bit more detailed. Contacts, you get 1 strong contact and a small boon. Heat dump, you reduce heat 1 step, and you gain a safe contact, someone who can hide you, someone that can provide an alibi or fence something for you, something that can keep the heat off you in the future. And blowing off steam, well, you get a bigger boon. But this bigger boon And maybe it's a free room for a month, or maybe it's you always drink for free, but you only. It's never a magic item. Now remember, heat is any active townside pressure. We discussed this in a prior video. That's wanted posters, watch attention, arrival crew sniffing around, an offended faction, a noble who hates your face. So reducing heat one step just means the pressure noticeably cools off. Now, this is optional. You could do, all right, well, you spent 300 on carousing. You could give the PC 10% of that gold spent as XP. I don't think that's bad. Some might go, personally for me, I think it's fine. So what you do need, though, are 2 tables. You need a rumor table, and I'm going to give you, it should be at least a D12, maybe a D20, depending on the size of your party. It should be something that's grounded in the setting. So, I'm going to give you some examples. I'm not going to read you all 12. A merchant quietly buys odd coins from the old ruins, no questions asked. Someone's been paying for fresh graves, not joking, fresh graves. A guide is missing, that map is for sale if you find the right hand. These were all adventure leads, right? Think about that. Again, 12 to 20, and they should be for your setting, for your campaign. And then the trouble table. Now this, maybe it's a bit more generic. Brawl, you wake up bruised with a new enemy. You lost your coin purse. So if you spent 200, you actually lost 220 because you lost a little extra money. You made a public scene. You're famous for something stupid. You get -1 reaction to rolls in town for a week. You owe a local fixer who helped you out of trouble. You owe them a favor. Like you did property damage. It's going to cost you money. Again, you need these tables prepped. I'll give you, if you go to the blog side, there's a very condensed version of this. But you need to detail this. I can't do that work for you. But here's an example, okay? Because sometimes you have to see this to understand this. Party gets back to town, 3 characters figure, all right, we're going to carouse. Second level thief, goes standard, 200 gold pieces, and wants rumors. Third level cleric goes light, 150 gold pieces, wants contacts. First level magic user goes hard, 200 gold pieces. And he's looking to blow off steam. So the thief rolls a 10, a good result. Gets his base rumors, 2. And he had picked rumors for the intent, so he gets another rumor. Or you can upgrade a rumor. So instead of saying, I don't know, there's trouble on the road, you give them this the road trouble starts at the old stone bridge at the sunset. And it's not bandits. You're giving them more of a hook. Cleric also rolled a 10. So they get 1 rumor, and they get 1 contact. So maybe now the cleric has a temple assistant who knows which noble is quietly hiring muscle, or a lay brother who can get messages moved without question. Now, the magic user rolled a 5. Trouble. So, okay. He gets 3 rumors because he spent hard, so he's going to get 3 rumors. And it was blowing off steam, so he gets to roll trouble twice and take the worst. They roll public scene and watch attention, and you give them watch attention. So the wizard still comes home with some rumors, some leads, but now the watch is asking pointed questions, and that pressure will follow the party to the next session. And that's the intent. Doing real work. Same procedure, different outcomes, meaningful choice. Now, some GMs may treat carousing like a mini campaign. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. Just do the roles. This isn't a mini campaign. This isn't. You don't want it to be a time sink. It should be a money sink, but not a time sink. Carousing is a procedure. It's not a subplot, although it may give out hooks. So, the rhythm is declare the spend and the intent, roll, one sentence of color, hand out the rumors and the result, and move on. And what do I mean by one sentence of color? You wake up with your holy symbol tied to a tankard handle. You end the night playing dice with somebody who never says their name. You buy drinks for a guy who keeps staring at your sword like it owes him money. And another mistake, avoid this one. Trouble, if they roll trouble, it's not punishment. It's simply another hook. It's more friction. It's rivals, complications, hooks, costs. It's not a hard stop. It is a push. So where does this fit in your adventure loop? Drop it right after the PCs return to town. Let them sell and tally their treasure, rest and recover. If they want to carouse, they carouse. And after that, you drop the rumors. They can do a little shopping and look for hirelings and then depart. But carousing before the rumor drop is key. Because carousing generates the number of rumors. Right? So, I'll include the checklist for all of this on the blog side. Again, Tenkars Tavern.com. So I think carousing is a great way to drain off that extra coinage without it feeling like a tax. It creates leads and hooks without you having to give a lecture, without you having to lead the party by the nose. And it makes towns feel like places where things happen, not just places where you, I don't know, buy rations, torches, replacement arrows, get your armor maintained. No, there's more to it. Try it once. Next time they get back to town, offer the opportunity for them to go carousing. Let them choose their intent. Let them roll. Hand them rumors and consequences that point forward. If you want more BX procedures like this, clean, fast, and table ready, hit subscribe. Thank you, and God bless.